New recording. Okay, notice how we've got a chunk of floor that's gone here because we demolished that little concrete slab. So we want to come back and infill that with some more of the wood floor. And then right here we've got actually wood floor overlapping the foundation wall. So let's go to our new 3D view here and let's employ the help of our section box, which is in the... Anybody remember how to get to the section box? It's in your view properties.
Yeah, I'm on this little thingy.
This guy right here. Good. And so now let's cut it off. So I'm kind of slicing through this condition. So what I actually want to do is join geometry here. So I'll go to Modify, Join, pick the new floor and then the old floor. And then the new floor and the foundation wall. So they would really have to shave off part of that stone foundation and then bear the new joists on it. And then I can do a join between the floor and that new wall, which I didn't do before. So this section box is a great little tool, even when you're talking about the skin of the building, much less an interior design project. Okay, so now I need to look at the other side here, and we have kind of a weird condition right here because we didn't have a wood floor in there. We had a chunk of wall and we had a concrete slab. So let's go back to our new plan here, and we want to put a chunk of wall here, and then we want to infill a piece of floor. So this chunk of wall cannot be the same wall type because it won't be thick enough. I could start with that if I right-click Create Similar, Finish Face Exterior Location Line, and I go from here to there. Now it says it's overlapping something. I bet it's going up too high. I also want to pull it away there and do the little disallow join trick because it buried itself in that other wall. So I'm going to disallow. And I'm going to drag that over to here. Another way I could do it is use the Align button. Pick where I'm going and what I'm moving. And I could do a join between that and that. But see how it's not thick enough? So I want a wall that's as thick as that existing 13-inch thick wall. So I'm going to use the what I call the on-the-fly method for making a new type. Let me fix the height first. Oops, wrong 3D view. So I want the top of this one to match the base of that one. So I want to go up to the second floor minus 1 foot. So that way I'm just infilling, whoops. No wonder. Minus 1. You guys are on the ball tonight. Okay. So there's my infill wall. Now I need my floor. But I got to make that wall thicker. So at half-inch scale, I can kind of see what's going on here. So I'm going to select that wall, and I'm going to go in and say Edit Type and Duplicate. And I'm going to call this one the same name, but I know I want it to be 13 inches thick, and I know I can't use a 2x6, so I'm just going to say 2x, and it's going to be a sum. They might like take a 2x10 and rip it down, or they might take two 2x6s and scab them onto each other. But it's not worth getting into the detail of, okay, how do they build that? You can just trust that the contractor will come up with a way to frame that. We just have to tell them how thick that is. So we go in and edit the structure, and in order to get this to 13 inches, we have to add 2 more inches. So that means our wood stud's going to have to be 7.5, which is unfortunately just a little more than a 2x8. So they can either rip a 2x10 or take a 2x8 and a 2x4 and scab them together. And when I finish, voila, I've got a wall that's as thick as the existing. So now I can come back, Home, Floor. I'm going to use the same floor type, offset 0. I'm going to pick this new wall, that existing wall. Then I'm going to do pick lines and pick that edge and that edge of the old floor, and then I'm going to trim, TR. Trim, trim, trim. Finish. Do not attach anything to the bottom of it, but yes, join the geometry. So now if I cut a section the other way, building section, right through there. Let's go to that view. Shaded, fine. So there's that new chunk of floor I just built. There's the new infill piece of wall, which structural engineer is going to have to help us out with that, because you can't just kind of hang it like that. There might be a beam, a header that runs across here to hold that wall up. And then over here is the new floor on that side. There's the plaster beyond that we wrapped, which I made a little too tall. So I'm going to tab to select that. Did that work? I'm just going to select that one and say, okay, he should go up 8'1", because I cut that opening 8'1" according to the handout. But I'm not going to be real picky and grade off if you don't have all that little kind of stuff perfect. So if we go to our new, we've got everything done but the roof. So I'm going to go to, I have to make a new roof plan now. So I cannot copy my new level 1 to make a new roof. I have to copy my existing roof to make a new roof. Duplicate view. Rename it to Work Roof New. And then I change the phase to New. And the phase filter to show Previous plus New. And it occurs to me that it'd probably be better if I look at this in a second floor plan. So I'm going to duplicate my L2 existing. Call it L2 New. Work L2 New. And I change it to New Construction, show Previous plus New. And why am I not seeing that? Well, those walls don't quite go up to the second floor. So I go to my, what do I do? View range. Very good. And I'm going to drop it down so that it's like maybe -5 feet below the second floor. So now I can see the tops of my new walls. And I'm ready to put in a roof. And I'm going to put this on like a lid so it sits over the top of the existing, or the new walls. So I think on my handout, I meant to correct some things, so then maybe, let's check and see if I have this all written down right here. We want to make a new roof with 0 overhang, extend wall to core, and I set the offset, here it is right here, -3.5 inches. So let's see if that works. Base offset from level. So I go to Home. I'm in my new view. Home, Roof. Now this time we're doing a flat roof. How do you do a flat roof? Well, you just do a roof by footprint, but you don't make these edges define the slope. And you set the overhang to 0. And you don't extend in a wall to core, but you still use pick walls. So now the edge of my roof is at the outside of those new walls. And then I'm just going to trim there and there and there. And then I want this base offset negative. Did I say -3.5? And I don't want a fascia depth of 10 inches. Because that's going to do something weird. I'm going to change it to, would that be square cut, I guess? No, plumb cut. That means you're cutting off vertically at the edge of the rafter, so there's no fascia depth. That's the part that I didn't put in the handout. So on the roof properties, in order to get it to sit at the right height where it should be, change the rafter cut to plumb cut so that the ends of the flat horizontal rafters are just cut vertically. And then I can finish my sketch. Go to my building sections that I created, new, which by the way, Revit just called them sections building section. And so I'm going to go back to my plan and figure out which ones they were. Well, this one right here is section 4, so I'm going to rename that. I'm going to call it new looking north through infill. And then the other one here was looking east through the kitchen window, so I'm going to rename that. So now if I look at that roof in this view, I've got a little bit of overlap going on between my wall and my roof, and I can just select that and attach the top of my wall to the underside of the roof. And then if I was to really detail that, I'd put one of those detail components of a wood stud there that would be like an end of kind of a ridge rim board that would be nailed on there. But we want a fascia on this roof. So the last step, whoops, I keep forgetting to go to my explicit 3D new view. So there's the new part of my house. So I'm going to go to, remember where roof fascia is? That was assignment C.
Under roof.
So we go to Home, underneath Roof, Fascia. And we want, according to my handout here, we want a fascia that is 1 by 12. So I'm going to look and see if there's a fascia 1 by 12. There is. And I'm going to look and see what material it is. I'm going to change it to a wood mahogany just to be able to see it. And then I'm ready to apply my fascia to the outside edges of my new roof. And then I didn't quite have all those walls attached to the top of the wall, to the underside of the roof, so I'm just going to select the chain with the tab there and do attach top base with all of them to that roof. So now if I go back to one of my sections, I just do a join to clean up the fascia to the roof and the fascia to the wall. It's supposed to be a 2 by 10. It occurred to me that I didn't make my roof deep enough, did I? It should be a wood rafter 2 by 10. Which is really that one there, 10-inch asphalt shingle. I'm going to duplicate this. So we really need to make a new roof that has 2 by 10s instead of 2 by 6s. That's why. But what's cool about this is when I go in and fix that, the top of the wall will drop down because the wall is attached to the underside of that roof. Or, actually, I think what will happen is the roof will go up because the roof is sitting at 3.5 inches below the level. So I want to go into my wood and make it 9 1/4. And okay, there we go. So now when I join geometry between my fascia and my brick wall, that's how that detail should look. And if I want to measure my theoretical ceiling height here, I can put a dimension from there to the joist, the rafter, 9 foot 1/2, and in assignment F2 next week, we're going to put in ceilings. We'll nail a 1/2-inch chipboard, and we'll have a nice 9-foot ceiling. So the dimensions have worked out very comfortably for us. So I'm going to go ahead and burn this recording here. Session 6. Visit the guy on the roof commercial, 1-800-NEW-ROOF. Can't remember what roofing company has that.